Oh god, what were they called in? They used to be called the Squats in 40k. They've got a new name now.
Yes, they do, don't they?
Less ridiculous. The space door, Votan, something.
The Votan, that was it.
Yes. So you can get space dwarves, and they're pretty much the same as in classical Warhammer, or
Is this Age of Sigmar?
No, it's 40k.
No. 40k. You get space dwarves.
Perfectly honest, in 40k universe, I don't think there's very much in the way of anything.
The good guys are the orcs. They're the only nice people. They're the only ones that think it's all a game.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Have you heard a story about? I heard this story, and I'm like, apparently this is actual law. Is that a load of orcs were flying through, what's it called? The warp, yeah. And Khorne basically grabbed them, yeah, and brought them into his realm. And there, yeah, he just watches these orcs just, petulantly fighting all the time.
Yeah, they're his favourite pet. He keeps resurrecting them so they can keep fighting.
Yes. Yeah.
No, that's actual law.
Yeah.
I just like them because they think colors have magical properties, and they believe very hard on those.
When you say Khorne, I'm pretty up on like the old world stuff. Is that how they arrive in the old world or something? Like Warhammer Fantasy?
Question. I don't know.
They're like fungus, aren't they? I thought.
Yeah, they're a fungus.
They are. Yeah, they're fungus. Yeah.
Big fungus people. Big angry fungus people.
Do you want to know who made the orcs?
Well, maybe we should get onto that as something that's not on our Star Trek stream. So.
I could talk
just
Warhammer 40k.
Just a thought for the mycelial network,
Well, I would be lying if I said I hadn't had a good old think over that, but yeah.
Tavish creates the orcs. Seems
oh dear Lord, no. Probable and scary.
Very probable, very scary. But nevertheless, yes, we've got some stuff to get through today, so I would like us to proceed now that all of us are here. So I am just going to quickly throw us into the intro video, and then we'll be back very, very soon. Excuse us, folks. Hello folks, and welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM, and I will be your Games Master for the next couple of hours, and with me are the crew of the Combs. And we have a good deal to get through, so let us get to it. But before I do, I would like to point you in the direction, once again, of Chris and his The Utter Crisp channel, and we've of course going to point in this direction to show you exactly what you need to be looking at, which is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Yep, you've done it for me. Thank you very much. It's been about a week now since that's been out. So yep, please go do check that out. It was a lot of hard work over a very long time. Already cracking on with the next video. I finished replaying Dragon Quest III again yesterday. so the scripting is starting now. Going to try and be a bit more on the ball with it. I'm aiming to get 2 more videos out by the end of the year. But in the meantime, yeah, please do watch the Phoenix Wright video. I'm seeing like everyone and their dad on YouTube is like saying that the algorithm's been a bit weird recently, and like people aren't getting as many views. And obviously, for me, it's a much smaller scale. But yeah, so please do check that out if you get the time. Thank you.
Absolutely. The algorithm heard us announcing rebellion last week, I think, and so yeah, it's actually included everybody, not just us. So, whoops. Never mind. In any case, on with the show. So, at the end of play last time, there was essentially a bit of a bust-up. The Klingons are back on the same side as the Federation, but not everybody on either side is fully on team, if you know what I mean. We saw that by a number of altercations between Klingons and Federation Starfleet officers. So, things aren't all great, but can you really expect it to be after such a large, long-standing engagement? Moving on, you have just been given your marching orders, so without any further ado, I am just going to give a captain's log. And to do that, I am also going to switch us onto deck 1. For it to load a second. There we go. Captain's log, stardate 50585.2. The USS Combs, along with the Klingon ship Kavrak, have been searching for a missing science vessel, the SS Tesla, which went missing 1 week ago while cataloguing anomalies in an unstable region of the Shackleton Expanse. This region is notorious for an unusual number of temporal and spatial anomalies, some benign and others extremely dangerous. 18 hours ago, we picked up a plasma trail, likely from a damaged ship. The Orgoon system has 2 Class M planets, both with populations protected under General Order 1, the Prime Directive. Orgoon 2 has a primitive civilization, equivalent to medieval Earth. The residents call themselves the Slithar, and are a violent and warlike culture. The residents of Orgoon 3, who call themselves Lormians, are quite different, being a mammalian species of humanoid lemurs that are noted for their peaceful and communal society. Their technology is equivalent to mid-21st century Earth, just pre-warp technology, but still covered by the Prime Directive. The plasma trail from the SS Tesla appears to lead directly towards Orgoon 3. And so, we begin. So, let me just get us to Orgoon 3 orbit. So, yes indeed, the Combs and the Kavrak have now made orbit in the area of the 3rd planet of the Orgoon system. And you have also been given the list of the crew of the SS Tesla. Now, the SS Tesla is a civilian science vessel, therefore not actively part of Starfleet. Do I have sounds playing? Because I cannot tell. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so the names of the crew on board the Tesla were Captain Andrew Forrest, human. Dr. Emmett Sherman, also human, this one a astrophysicist. Ibab Thivet, who was an Andorian geologist. Dr. Norma Grange, who was a human physicist. Orimu Faz, who is a Trill xenobiologist. And Dr. Saya Lort, who is a human biologist and medical doctor. The names being important because Dr. Sott actually attended Starfleet Medical with Dr. Saya Lort, it turns out. But she didn't actually manage to graduate, whereas Dr. Sott did. So Saya went on to do the civilian science branches of medicine instead, whereas Dr. Sott went into Starfleet Medical. So, with this situation, I'm assuming at the moment that because you are in orbit of Orgun 3, you will have already identified the fact that there are satellites in Orgun 3's orbit, which means that you are going to have to go stealthily. Now that's no problem for your Klingon contingent, because the Kvrot obviously has a cloaking device. You guys can now utilize your ship's latest bit of tech.
Sneaky mode.
Sneaky thing, which I failed to remember the actual term for. It is the reduced sensor silhouette. That was it. So, the reduced sensor silhouette does mean that it makes it more difficult for folks to determine that the power signature coming from your ship is indeed from a ship, but that still doesn't stop somebody from staring out of a window or using a camera lens on a satellite and being able to pick you up. So some degree of stealth is still needed for the piloting of the ship. So I'm just going to tinker a little bit with the sound here. So what we've got is... Go on, sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to go, ooh, eerie music.
Yes. Hello, cat.
No, Mark.
No, I was referring to the fluff ball right in front of me, not the otherwise fluff ball some distance from me. But there we go. So, science has determined that the best way to also cloak the combs in this case is to change the main deflector so it transmits interference, and therefore shields your ship's presence from the satellites in orbit and any possible scans from the planet. But your own scans of the planet have not been getting very far, I am afraid, because of the electromagnetic surges in the atmosphere, making scans more difficult than usual. But just as you are about to engage in whatever activities you need to in order to make that situation a bit better, that is when your communications officer, Ensign Ravalon, puts a hand to a finger to his earpiece and then turns around. Captain, we are getting requests to board from Captain Darkran of the Kvrot. At which point Captain Sobek goes, very well. Lieutenant Garrow, please escort our guests to the bridge. At which point Garrow does indeed move off the bridge and head towards the transporter room to disappear for a little bit. You have a few moments, therefore, before Captain Darkran and possibly one or more of his officers beam over from the Kvrot to your ship. So, anything you would like to do or discuss just before they get here?
Oh.
I want to ask Trasa to dish. What's the deal with this guy?
Aha.
Oh, what happened to our security guy?
Garrow has just gone off to escort
Gotcha.
the Klingon captain and whatever officers he's bringing to the
Oh,
to
so
the
he's
bridge.
got that
So
security.
he's
got
actually
security
gone.
contingent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz, do you need any reminding whatsoever of who or what Captain Darkran is?
He is a pompous douchebag that thinks his house is the greatest there ever was. He looks down on what he deems his lesser houses, even though his house is very poor in the ways of battle. He has no honor.
Ooh, now we're getting to it, the personal stuff.
Downright, honestly, he's worse than a Romulan, in my opinion.
Tavish just pipes up and goes, "Sounds like most Klingons don't, doesn't it?"
Ooh.
Oh,
Flesk flashes a glance at Tavish, disapproving.
And Sobek stands up and turns around to actually face Tavish on the engineering console of the bridge. Commander, may I remind you that your first officer, as well as your tactical officers, are Klingons. Therefore, it would do you well to be hoof from such racially insensitive comments in their vicinity. Especially since we have guests arriving. Show some discipline, Commander.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And he just sits back down. In that typical Vulcan way of, I've said my piece, that's all that needs to be said. At which point Go on, sorry.
As she turns around, she just does she rolls her eyes back. And just kind of shakes her head as well.
Okay, there is the telltale hiss of a door opening and closing, and before long, Lieutenant Garrow comes back along with some guests. So, Lieutenant Garrow turns around and says, Captain, may I present Captain Darkran of the Kavrot, along with his first officer, Commander Vorak. Captain Sobek stands up. Garrow goes back to his usual posting. Welcome aboard the Combs, Captain Darkran. At which point Darkran starts to pace around the bridge as he's saying this. It is my honor and privilege to finally see the much vaunted crew of the USS Combs in operation. Needless to say, whilst Commander Trasa was under my direct command, she would often and frequently cite the crew of the USS Combs and its exploits as being exemplary. I am therefore extremely curious to see this exemplary work ethic in person, as it were. With your permission, of course, Captain Sobek. Sobek simply nods. It is a welcome perspective I am sure you will bring, Captain Darkran. Now, perhaps to the point at hand, which is the rescue of the SS Tesla. Captain Darkran still has this kind of imperious air about him, and you could swear that the more you look at him as he paces, it's less of a smile, more of a smirk, but it's so much on the edges of it that it's difficult to actually just point at it and go, here, there, smirking, right there, see it? So, Darkran at that point stops his pacing and goes, of course, the main reason for my volunteering to be a part of this mission was to see how our Federation and Starfleet compatriots conducted themselves on an operation of this nature. It is all about exchange of ideas and experiences. In that regard, and he brings out a Klingon version of a pad, our sensors, our targeting sensors in particular, are that much more attuned to being able to pick up potential craft. Perhaps by integrating our own targeting procedures and abilities with your own, we would be able to more quickly locate the Tesla and therefore expedite this rescue mission. Captain Sobek seems to think this is nods, but then looks over at Flask.
Flask thinks this is a good idea. It makes sense to share and pool resources to try and find the ship quicker.
Excellent.
And knowing Tavish, in the back of his mind, she could learn something. Maybe to our advantage to enhance our own sensors later down the line.
Uh-huh. So, Captain... go on, sorry, Dave.
There's a little scoff at that.
Captain Darkran seems to ignore it, for the most part, but then says, Captain, with your permission, I will have my first officer, Commander Vorak, give secure channel frequency to your communications officer, so that our two ships may communicate securely whilst in orbit around Organ 3. This will enable us to coordinate our efforts, yes? Captain Sobek looks around to see if there are indeed any objections.
Not from Flask. He thinks this is sensible.
Gives it a couple of moments.
Not any outward ejections from Hopkins.
Okay.
It's good for
What
me.
about-
Nice team building exercise.
What about Gurko?
You know, we're all scavengers of whatever we get. But it was
Scavengers,
fine.
interesting. So, Captain Darkran hands over a pad to Commander Vorak, who moves over towards the Combs' communications officer. They have a bit of a back and forth as they start entering the secure comm channel. And yes, before too long, the sensor station, monitored mostly by Gurkau or the tactical officer Dyneth, can confirm that you are now getting data feed coming in from the Klingons' own tactical sensor suite. So, what this means is, scans are still difficult, but maybe Ops and or Science can have a go at trying to clear up the picture now that you've got a combined suite of sensors going at the task. So anybody who wants to, from your side, can give me a Reason and Science task with a difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's sensors and Science.
I don't mind taking that one. 11 Reason, 5 Science.
Nice. And to a degree,
Can
this
I
does
have-
make a degree of sense for Dr. Sott, because scanning for life signs, potentially. Yes,
Can I have Lieutenant Dufresne assist as well?
Dufresne assist. Okay, first assist is obviously for free, so
Legion of Honor.
Well,
that was quick. I didn't even get to roll on the sensor complication table. You know what? I'm going to see what it might have been by rolling on the sensor complications table, which I got thanks to the new technical manual that came out not long ago. I am not sponsored by Modiphius. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did deflector, internal sensors, external sensors complication table? If I'd have gotten to it before you said, what would it have said? Sentient nanoparticles take over the sensor system.
Oh dear
My God.
lord.
Gee, I wonder who's
No.
sentient.
Yeah. Wonder who made the sentient nanoparticles.
Oh,
It sounds very Borgy to me.
Dufresne nevertheless gets 1 success, and Dr. Sott gets 1 success, 2 successes apiece, so that is not bad at all. Exactly what you needed to essentially overcome the electromagnetic distortion that is making sensor scans more difficult. So, your scans, thanks in no small part to the fact that you are scanning for life signs, but also using the Klingons' targeting scanners, mean that it seems that the Tesla has crash-landed relatively intact in a wilderness region about 200 kilometers from the Lormians' capital city on Organ 3. No humanoid life signs are shown in the vicinity of the wreckage. However, the energy fluctuations around the planet are still interfering with sensors, making it difficult to differentiate human life forms from the native Lormians. But what also seems to be confusing the scans is that there's an extremely powerful energy source, about 5 kilometers underground, not far from the north of the capital city of the Lormians. Due to the unusual energy fluctuations around the planet, this will probably affect communications and make transporters rather dangerous to use. So, what would you like to do?
It does sound like we should go down, but where are we going down? We need to try and pinpoint a good spot to go to.
Now, it
I'm assuming
would
we've
be... Sorry, go on, Mark.
Oh, we've already linked up with the Klingon sensors, and we're assuming that they've got the same result.
Well,
Would we have to...
Go on.
Sorry.
No, go on.
Would we have to take the Klingon ship closer to go further in if transporting is difficult?
Good question. So, as advanced as Klingon technology may be, it's been an established point of fact that Starfleet has the superior caliber technology. So, chances are good that if Starfleet transporters and sensors are going to find it difficult to get through this interference, then it's the high probability, so this is going from Gurkhau's probabilistic calculations, there's a high probability that the Klingons are going to have a harder time getting through the interference.
So I mean taking the whole ship through
Ooh, blimey.
and landing.
That is a bit... The Kavrot is not a bird of prey, it is a Cavort class, so... What does that mean?
Oh. How big is it?
Let me take you for a bit of a demonstration. Right.
It's fine, because it'll be cloaked.
There is a
Just
yes,
cover
and there is also a but. So, here's the
See
Combs.
nothing.
The Combs is a scale 4 ship.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, it's darkness, is it? Okay.
It's just infinite blackness of space.
The blackness of space. Right, okay. Yes, as I was trying to say, the Combs is a scale 4 ship, compared to the Kavrak, which is a Cavort-class battlecruiser, which is a scale 5 ship. So, their ship's bigger than yours. As such, trying to get this whopper even cloaked down through the atmosphere of Organ 3 is going to leave some telltale marks. Mostly the great big ball of flaming fire streaking down through the atmosphere.
So size would be a giveaway. Go the other way. Send a probe. See if we can scan a bit closer
Sure.
without getting the ships closer.
Captain Darkran, I mean, at first is like, sending a Klingon vessel in. Interesting. We are more than happy to take the lead on this if that is what you wish. But then it becomes a case of, no, science, mass, and all of that, and the fact that we don't want to. Now, this is a good point where Captain Sobek probably jumps in. The native population of Orgun 3 are a pre-warp civilization, therefore the Prime Directive restricts us from how much we are able to take action in this regard. Now, there is a point of contention here that needs to be brought up. The SS Tesla has technically crash-landed, therefore Prime Directive states that we need to remove safely any and all technology that is currently beyond the Lormians' current capabilities. Therefore, it is considered a high priority for us to locate the crashed remnants of the Tesla and ensure that it is not found in any way, shape or form by the native Lormians. To do so would allow them to gain access to technology far beyond their current societal level. At which point Captain Darkran goes, "Oh yes, I was told to prepare for this, your prime directive." Intriguing. So, yes. That is probably going to be one of your mission directives on this is the prime directive, but also your secondary, most important mission directive is, of course, rescue the crew of the SS Tesla. Whilst obeying the prime directive. So, what do we like to do? Why the accent, Matt? I don't know.
Probe. I reckon send a couple of probes.
Probe, yeah. Are you sending the probe in any particular direction?
I was thinking if we sent a probe to the northern hemisphere and a probe to the southern hemisphere. Get a bit closer, get a better scan.
Okay. Try and get a look as to what you're dealing with. Right. Okie dokie. Everybody else on board with this idea?
Yep.
Yep.
Now, in all likelihood, if you are sending probes down, they are going to need to be altered in order to compensate for the intense electromagnetic interference. So, a degree of engineering jiggery-pokery is going to need to be done in order to rewire them, essentially, make them shielded and more able to do their job in this level of interference. So this is nothing you haven't done before, therefore I am going to knock it down to a difficulty 1 related issue, and it is more than likely going to be control and engineering.
Is that a Team Tavish, Team Flesk?
Could be.
Cool.
You know, it
Tavish,
occurs
do
to
you
me
wanna
that I
lead this?
forgot to give Chris and Connie's attempt the ship giving you assistance. So, Liz, could you do me a quick favor and go into the combs and give us the sensors and science roll that I was meant to ask for and didn't, just to see if it generated any extra momentum for you. 11 is a 1, so yeah, you would have gotten 1 out of that. There you go. Cool. Now, your high-resolution sensors means that you generated a bonus momentum, which you could have used to ask a question of or get more information from. So, as a result that you cannot save that momentum, I will say that the underground energy source to the north of the capital appears to be far more advanced than anything on the planet and is of an unknown kind. Definitely not natural, and unlike any energy source that appears to be currently used by the Lormians. So that was the extra information that you got out of that. So
we probably don't need to send a probe unless we want to identify what the power source is.
yes.
I'd say we could still jiggery poke sensor so we can confirm it's the right thing we're looking for and to have a better idea of what we'd be going into.
So this is for the northern or the actual capital city probe?
I'd say capital city, because the northern hemisphere was a wide shot. But now we have the information more specifically at the north of the capital city.
So we want to fire a probe in the direction of. Now, the probe is going to need to be directed down and then directed back up out of the way. So it does its job, it takes its pictures, it does its sensor scans, and then it hightails it back towards the ship without being detected. So after we get the modifications from the engineering guys here, Team Flesk and Tavish, we're probably going to need to do some effective probe piloting, which we can get from... Actually, Trasa's got a pretty high con, so she would make a good choice. She's got the same level of con as Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang, your helm officer. So either or both of those two would be a good idea. But for the moment, let's see how the modifications to the probe go. So, control and engineering from either or both.
I'd say Tavish should lead. I'll assist.
I don't know if I've got any focuses.
Or
but yeah,
modifying
you've got
this kind of thing, possibly not.
But you do have the higher control and
Yeah.
engineering combo.
Okie dokie.
Okay, that's 2 already. So that's 1 over and above what was needed. Whatever Flesk adds to this is added
Okay.
extra.
How much momentum do we have? 3. Do I want to be silly? Not right now. I'll just do a single dice.
How silly do you want to be with modifications to a probe? Okay, so that's 3 successes.
Yeah.
I only asked for 1. That's 2 momentum in the bank. Very nice. Very good. So, yep, this is nothing you haven't done before, so it is regular shielding and putting some extra juice in the, or an extra algorithm in the probe's sensor suite in order to compensate for any noise on the sensors. So, now you have successfully modified the probe, it's time to send it down in order to get it to where you want it to be and out again without being noticed. So, like I said, Trasa's definitely got a very good con score for being the one to do this. Is Trasa going to do this by herself, or are we going to involve the other? Going to involve your helm officer for this?
Yeah, I think she'll have Lian Zhang help as the kind
Cool.
of.
In that case, can I have a Chris take the part of Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang, please?
By all means.
From Zhang, I'll be wanting a control and con, probably using propulsion systems as a focus, but just 1 dice.
Yep.
Whereas Trasa is doing two. Oh, wow, that was close. So it's now down to Trasa. 2 dice, control and con.
Control's not that good.
Now you've got 5 momentum, you don't have a focus currently, so... anything you think you might want to do to add... no, you're going with, and 1 success. Okay, okie dokie. Let me just do this quick here. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So, Zhang and Trasa both manually guide this probe on its trajectory, and the interference, even though the probe has been altered to compensate for it, is still makes the journey pretty choppy, which means the feed cuts out every now and again. Not that frequently, but frequently enough that you lose it all for a second and then it comes back, and of course you have to then alter the probe's trajectory according to the fact that you just missed a whole second of being able to guide it. So you managed to successfully guide it to where it needs to go. The general area surrounding the Lormian capital, which as the probe focuses in on the Lormian capital city, you actually miss it on first pass because all you see is trees. One thing that seems to dominate the landscapes of Organ 3 is the fact there's a lot of forest, and we're talking big, big forest. This planet seems to be mostly trees and forests. So some of these trees are absolutely enormous, probably thousands of years old. But the probe seems to be zeroing in on the area that sensors indicated was the Lormian capital city. And it seems to be within an area of vast forest. So on a second pass, the probe actually makes out that there are, in fact, structures built into or kind of inculcated into the trees themselves. So the Lormians seem to have created their civilization around their tree homes and kept their trees as homes. So, unfortunately, that second pass means that you may have attracted a bit of attention with the probe, as you notice that as the probe is flying over trying to get some basic scans, visual scans as well as non-visual scans of the capital city, that an anti-grav craft seems to lift off from a small clearing, and it angles its prow in the direction of the probe, and that's when Trasa and Leanne both go, whoa, and pilot the probe out of there as fast as possible. So, whether or not the Lormians got any kind of good look as to what that might have been, you don't know, but priority at the moment is getting scarce from there before they do get a good look. So, but at least you got that information. There seemed to be, when you get the data back and start reading it back from the probe, there's certainly evidence that there is a large population. But either due to external factors that you aren't yet aware of, or whatever, the amount of population in this so-called capital city is actually a lot fewer than you would usually picture. But without further cultural studies and stuff like that, it's not all that clear as to why. But yeah, so we're talking globally. The Lormians seem to have a population in the millions rather than the billions. So yeah, smaller concentrations. But one thing I will say from that is, actually no, let me get Gurkow to do an analysis of the data that you just got there. So, Connie, if I can get control and science now. What are we looking for this? We are more than likely going to need to use your God focus for this, because it's going to be taking on different disciplines. Not only biology, but xenobiology and botany and all of that all together in one big cluster, so we're going to need Gurkow's brains to collate all of this data. So reason and science, please.
Reason and science. I wish we could stack foci. Reason and science.
Okay, wow, that was a lot of big result. Bada bing, bada boom. Yes, right, cool. There are definitely human and 1 trill life signs in amongst the Lormian populace in that capital city. So that definitely suggests that there are survivors from the Tesla in amongst the Lormians in their primary capital city, and therefore their primary mass of population. What that means is unclear. So now, you have the crash site. You have the fact that the scientists are apparently in amongst the Lormians, and you also have the power source, the strange power source off to the north. 3 things to deal with. How would you like to proceed?
Right, I think we need to get down there. But how? If transporting will be difficult and there'll be interference, I'll ask the chief engineer to do some jiggery pokery. There's
that, but your transporter chief Zonvagor says that there's a very high probability that the transporters you know, there's no telling what state you'd be in once you got down to the surface.
Ugh.
So safety procedures would suggest a shuttle.
EVA suit and shuttle it is.
Okay.
Just think of that bit from Galaxy Quest. Is there air? You don't know.
Exactly.
Thankfully, it seems due to the rather high concentrations of plant life on this planet, there's a very nice oxygenated atmosphere.
Flesk is taking an EVA suit.
Of course, Flask is
there-
taking an EV suit.
Of course he is.
Is there any way to get the shuttle in without being detected? Like
Normians, yeah.
maybe
Norm-
going like a longer way.
Yeah, there's certainly possibilities that present themselves. I mean, Lormian technology, like was stated, is about 21st century Earth level. So we're not talking sophisticated means of. We're talking mostly line of sight and visual based. Sensors, I think you could probably call them at most. Obviously, they have satellites in orbit as well, which might be allowing them to do cross-continent communications and maybe even the ability to see down onto the planet's surface via these satellites. So there would need to be your compensation for that. So yeah, it suggests more of a you would have to just make a stealthy approach and stay out of line of sight of anything. As long as you can do that, then it should all be possible. No problem, Liz, thank you.
Are we going to the crash site, or are we going to this power fluctuation 5 kilometers away from the capital?
Are you going to have to split up once we get there?
I think we should go to the crash site first because we should see what's happened. And we're meant to be recovering the technology. The power source may have been moved by the survivors, but we can address the crash ship first, I'd have thought. That's my idea.
Thoughts?
If we are going to the crash ship, because I'm all for, you know, go to crash ship first. Are we going to do like a little scan before we land? Just for the simple fact that we do not know if the ship has been compromised by...
Salvaged by the locals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a point worth making.
Yeah. Scan on our approach to see if there's any life forms.
Yeah.
And the life forms are not Starfleet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yep, so
Not
this all
Starfleet,
makes sense to
but
me.
Warp fearing, because it's a civilian craft, so not Starfleet, it would be modern civilization.
Okay, so the plan so far seems to me that an away team's definitely needed. You need to fly a shuttle down to the surface and maybe go to the... it seems crash site should be a higher priority. So the next question appears to be, who's going down? But as this question is raised, Captain Darkran speaks up. On a Klingon vessel, it is usually, almost always, required for the captain to lead the away team. For the highest-ranked, strongest warrior amongst us must be the one present to enact battle and glorious victory. I am aware there are certain differences in our opinions in that regard. At which point...
Not
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, we're not expecting to engage with the local populace in any way. Never mind battle. We want to avoid being spotted by them.
Indeed. Which is why I am open to suggestions as to how we would proceed. However, I would strongly ask that since this is supposed to be a mission of cooperation and learning, that I and one of my officers be allowed to accompany you on this away team.
That's fair. I think that we should let them on, but with the expressed aim to be to avoid being seen.
Of course. Captain Sobek actually pipes up at this point, saying that indeed it is often cited by Starfleet regulations that the captain, who is the senior officer and therefore has all of the primary security command codes available to them, should not be the one to go down on an away mission, for to have them fall into the hands, wittingly or unwittingly, of anyone on the planet's on a planet's surface or any away team mission would compromise a vast intelligence mistake. Therefore, it is more appropriate for the first officer of a Starfleet vessel to go down on an away team instead, rather than risk such a large potential intelligence and security hole. Now, you can't be certain, but this might very well have been Sobek's rather Vulcan way of pointing out a logical fallacy in having the captain go down with the away team. Was this Sobek making a dig?
I'm making a simple observation.
It'll be fine if you go, because there won't be much of an intelligence hole left.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now, who was that directed at?
That's just like Nestlow's
Dig at Sobek or dig at Darkman?
tacit. Her inference is that it was a dig at Darkran, and is what she considered a tacit implication from Sobek's side, and she's smirking.
Right. So Sobek just raises a Vulcan eyebrow at that.
There is a proper giggle from Tavish as Gurkau says that.
Right, those observing Captain Darkran see his features darken for a moment before he realizes he's being watched, in which case it's instantly washed away and he just puts on another of his smirking smiles. But those who are looking also see Councillor Sachs just give a very quick look in Darkran's direction, but then just seems to calm down and gives a nod as if to say, oh, okay. Huh. What that was all about, you don't know, but there you go. So, it seems we have an away team party to put together. Now, Captain Darkran has already volunteered himself and one of his officers, so it now comes down to who amongst yours is going to be accompanied. Oh, we can always guess, of course, but I don't like to assume, so...
Are we getting mods again?
Meow. You mean the anti-grav sled? Absolutely. We might need to...
I mean, to turn us
Carry.
into Lima people.
Oh, no, because we're sneaky.
Right, good point.
And, it'd be harder to carry the anti-grav sled for carrying away that power source.
Yeah, but the other people, the people we're looking for, are already single and ready to mingle on the planet, so...
Interesting way of putting it, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, if we disguise ourselves as those people, the crash survivors may avoid and hide from us,
It's an
trying
interesting
to
point.
protect the Prime Director themselves.
But I think if they see us arrive on the shuttle, that should belay all fantasies.
Well, that in turn does address the issue of the fact that you do have to take a shuttle to get anybody down there. Dave made the very correct point that the shuttle needs to avoid all visual, being spotted. So that consideration definitely needs to be taken into account. And it is a very logical point to make. So these are all considerations that do need to be addressed, yes, is what to do once you're down on the surface. So as not to risk being seen. So yes, Mark said be sneaky, but Connie's point also about disguising things does seem to be a very pressing point as well. So yeah, what's any ideas, any thoughts you want to do? You want to use to go forwards?
Half and half team? Half prosthetic, half regular?
So, as in only have half a disguise, or only have half your number disguised?
Only half the number.
Right.
Not like a mermaid disguise where we're just waist up hidden.
I think the half disguise is like the best idea we've had ever.
Well, cloaks can be used to disguise an awful lot, so,
Look, let's confuse them.
It would confuse them. It's confusing me.
But a disguise would mean that Flask wouldn't get to wear his EV suit, so...
Oh no, Flask will be one of the sneakies.
In an EV suit? I suppose you'd turn all the lights off.
Yep. He's very sneaky.
Oh dear.
Okay, so far on the away team, we have Captain Darkran and one of his officers, we have Gurkha, we have Trasa, we have Dr. Sot, and we have Flesk. Who else is going? Who else do you think should go? We're bringing the Targ, are you sure? Are you bringing the Targ and the Murgar? I'm not saying don't, I'm just saying are you sure? As you know, I'm sure they're very well-behaved boys when it comes to their very first away mission. But are you sure?
What's the odds that a Targ could sniff out the crew?
There's that. Sadly, Gurkha hasn't finished her own science project of turning herself into a giant bloodhound, but, time and all that. Okay, so, is Tavish going with the... actually, while these talks are going on, I've just realised I almost missed something. So, talks about who is going on the away mission are ongoing, and so it's the discussion of the plan of who's going to be disguised, if any, who's not going to be, are we going to be splitting up once we get there, la 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 la. At that particular point, somebody comes onto the bridge. It's Lieutenant Osborne, bearing a pad. And he comes on to the bridge, looks around, and zeroes in on Tavish. As Tavish is there, just part listening into what's going on, but also keeping an eye on the various engineering readouts that you have got here on the bridge. And Lieutenant Osborne comes over and says, got the reports of the current status of our ship systems as per stealth procedures. Just need you to check these over and make sure that they're all to specifications, Chief.
Yes, Lieutenant Osborne. She takes the pad and she will look over it.
And Osborne hunches over the console whilst Tavish is doing this and says in a low voice so that nobody else can hear, I've just been informed that the Klingon guests that we have here on the bridge at the moment have just given us a link to their ship.
That they have?
She
says very quietly.
You're quite well known around these parts for having really good computer hacking skills. This could be a very good opportunity to find out what it is that this bastard's actually here to do. Because we don't seriously think he's just volunteered for a mission like this just to see how we do things, do you?
Right, hold the pad. Do not go anywhere.
Okay. Oh, sorry to hear that, Chief. I might need to rework the formula a bit here whilst I wait. Is it okay if I stay here on the bridge?
Of course, Lieutenant. Tavish is going to start hacking into the Klingon ship.
Cool. That is going to be... Now, ordinarily I'd say daring, but you've done this so many times now that I'm actually going to allow you to use control. And... Now, ordinarily it'd be security, but I know you want to use engineering because you do actually have hacking as a focus, so... Go for it.
Okay.
Two successes. Okay, cool. You manage to surreptitiously work into the back and forth messages that are going between the Combs and the Klingon ship. That are sending just little update packets just as a way of confirming that the link is still secure and still operational. Standard procedure kind of thing. You ping the other guy just to make sure that it's still receiving your signals. So Tavish manages to insert some invasive data packets of her own that go out with that ping in order to gain access to the Klingon's computer system, at which point you do. And Osborne just nods and says, that's probably where you should leave it, Chief. You get on with your job and I'll see if we can't slowly drip feed some information as to what they're actually here for.
Okay. One moment. I've just got to do a little security thing to make sure.
Sure.
Matt?
Yo.
Can I put a... basically a tracker slash data recovery data analyst, something to basically track where this data is going and how it's being used.
Sure. Yep.
And who by.
Yep, no problem. Okay.
Fantastic.
Noted. Alright, cool, groovy. So, Osborne...
without him noticing, by the way.
Without Osborne noticing, right, yeah, okay.
Yes.
So you surreptitiously slip that into the transmitter so that the communication ping that keeps sending out a ping to, or receives one from the Klingon vessel that you've now rigged to send these extra data packets. You've now also put a check algorithm in there to see what it is. Any code that goes out from the Combs now gets analysed by you. Or gets logged by your program at the very least. So, yeah, that's no problem. Osborne accepts the data pad back and goes, "Thank you, Chief. Sorry for the mix-up. We'll try and do better next time."
No problem, Lieutenant. Keep with the good work you're doing.
Yes, sir. Backs out. Off he goes. Meanwhile, back on Who's Going Down in the away team. We got the Doc, we got Flask, we got Gurkow, we got Trasa. Now, Dave, is Tavish going down, or is somebody else going down? Because if you think Tavish would rather stay up on the ship, then you could always activate Garrow or a security officer or some such. Hell, Ensign Akos.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Yeah, is Tavish going to do her hacking, whilst someone else goes for the survival option?
Yeah, because while you've been like conversating about who's going down and stuff, I've been thinking if she would go down, because I think at the moment she'll be like myself. It's in two minds. Is it she wants to go and protect, the rest of the Combs away team, because they're her friends, but she needs to keep up this pretense as well.
But if you're thinking of it on that lines, then the away team currently has half its number made up of Klingons, two of which you're not even sure of the quality of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in which case, Garrow is the better fisticuffs.
Yeah, but Tavish can keep
an eye on him as well.
Well,
Garrow can still go. It's whether or not Tavish herself is coming that I'm openly asking.
Yeah. Let's. Oh.
So, on the off chance that a security situation does happen, do you still want Garrow to go, or are you bringing along Ensign Akos, who hasn't seen much action recently?
My vote for Garrow. He's got Klingon fighting experience.
my voting is for Akos, because he's got was it 3 arms?
3 arms, 3 legs.
Yeah.
Like any
He
Adusian.
can absolutely lend a spare hand. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not Dynef instead of. I mean, I'm not saying we should be a full Klingon away team, but I don't see why not Dynef instead of Garrow or Akos.
They'd probably kill her.
Well,
Don't you want to see some drama?
I mean, okay, you're already gonna have drama if you put Tavish with the others.
yes, good point.
Tavish would, if the discussion is going on, Tavish would go. No, I don't want her. But she's not doing it for the reasons. She's doing it because she does not want to put her in danger at all.
Fair enough. What I will also say is that Dyneth, for all that she's a Klingon, she's essentially been trained as a tactical officer. Whereas, as Marcus correctly pointed out, Garrow has got hand-to-hand combat training and survivalism.
Let's go with Garrow then. I think.
Everybody good with Garrow then, in that case?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, in that case I will knock another one off of your supporting cast usage, because we had Lian Zhang, now we've had... Actually, no, we also had Dufresne, didn't we? So, pop, pop, pop. Let me... Dufresne off to one side as well, just to remind me about that. Actually, I'll put her next to Lian Zhang, just to remind me that they have been used, so that they can be buffed later on as supporting characters can. So otherwise, are you happy with this configuration for the away team?
Sneaky away mission. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So you are taking a shuttle down, and the ride is probably not going to be a clean one. So let's pile everybody into a shuttlecraft. So, first question is, of course, who is going to pilot? The best one would probably be Trasa, to be honest, with the con of 4. Also going to need a secondary pilot. So, whoever wants to take...
I can be secondary.
Yep, okay. Yep, because you got con of 3, which is not bad at all either, so... And Vorak is just going to whoops-a-daisy. Actually, no, he's going to spend the entirety of the shuttle ride in the toilet. No. Everybody got selected there. Hang on. Let me bring everybody back. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope, Dr. Sot's moved. I'm going to have to release that.
Sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. You didn't know I was going to do it. It's okay, it's okay. Deep breath, deep breath.
Flex, can we change sides, please?
I don't like the seat on it.
No.
Yeah, it's just Flesk sighs and goes, "Ah, fine."
Tavish doesn't want to sit next to a Klingon.
Okay, I'm keeping
Hopkins
the
will mumble under
shuttle...
breath.
What was that, sorry, Liz?
Ever since Tavish died, I still hear her voice. And she mumbles that in Klingon.
Only those who speak Klingon, or Universe Translator, what am I saying? Right, I've included the shuttlecraft token in there in case we need to make any shuttlecraft checks, which, spoiler, you might well do. So, doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. So most of your modern technology can easily avoid detection by the planet's current status of surveillance satellites and radar. But of course, travel down through the energy fluctuations and whatnot is a little riskier. So, we need somebody on con to give either a daring or control and con task with a difficulty of 2. Somebody
Definitely daring.
with... let me see. Gurkow can give reason and science to figure out, to see if you can use a way of the shuttle's shields mitigating the effects of the interference. So I'm going to want either daring or control and con from Liz, and I'm going to want reason and science. 1 dice from Gurkow, please.
Extravehicular activity?
This is more
And
about
help
modifying
control?
the shields.
My god. Modifications. God, focus?
Odd focus.
Oh no. Oh.
And helm control counts, right?
Helm control
daring
definitely
and-
counts for Trasa's count. Yes, absolutely. Well, hello there.
Legion, Order of the Batlift.
Okie dokie do. And thankfully, Gurkow saves the day there.
Whew.
So, the ride down is a lot choppier than Trasa expects. So the moment you guys hit atmosphere, you feel the shuttle jolt, and it's one of those jolts where it goes down suddenly and then comes up again. So you feel as if your organs got left behind as it jolts back up. One of those big sudden drop things that makes you go, "Oh God!" and makes the contents of those who aren't currently piloting and co-piloting the shuttle grip the handles and wonder why in all of that's holy they don't put seatbelts on these things. Because, come on, 24th century. But thankfully, Gurkow manages to modify the shields such that it mitigates the effects of the electromagnetic interference and also the puts out the worst of the turbulence. So you do eventually get through. Plus, Trasa hasn't actually piloted a small craft in quite some time. She's spent most of the last year just giving orders and bossing people around. So has almost forgotten what it was like to pilot a Starfleet shuttle. So a bit rough and ready with the controls, which makes everybody leave their stomachs behind for a moment or two. But Dr. Sott being sat where he is, he notices a sudden look exchanged between Captain Darkran and Commander Vorak, which seems to be part scoff, part, good God, does she not know how to drive? Nevertheless, the rest of the ride is a lot less intense. and so you are able to guide the shuttle down. Eventually, you break through the cloud cover and manage to start zeroing in on this long furrow that's been carved through the landscape. And you guess pretty accurately that that's what's been left by the Tesla crashing. So the scale's going to be a bit off here, but let's put folks in roughly there. And if I can just increase the size of the shuttle a smidgen. As you eventually find your way to the crash site. So, you exit the shuttle and you see the wreckage of the SS Tesla lying in the burnt remains of the forest around it. The forest has been leveled for about 50 meters around the wreckage. The crew cabin, as much as you can tell from here on an Oberth class, appears to be mostly intact. A quick examination of the surroundings reveals 2 recent graves. A quick tricorder scan reveals that one body is human, the other is Andorian, crew members of the Tesla. So, you are now here on the surface.
Can I get Tavish to actually start seeing if there is a way inside of the ship?
There appear to be numerous hull breaches, so yeah, there are definitely ways inside the ship. I mean, it seems one entire nacelle has disappeared.
Oh, that could be fixed.
So there's an entire rent in the starboard side of the vessel.
Okay. Tavish just goes, I'm gonna go into the ship. I'm gonna see if there is anything wrong with it. Though I probably will wait until Trasa has done her thing, because I think that's a great idea.
The shuttle is speaking.
That would have been what Trasa said when it fell. It's like, that was a fun roller coaster ride.
I mean, the fact that Tavish has anything to say about somebody else's shuttle driving, I think, is deeply ironic.
Hold on. She didn't say anything.
It was the shuttle.
Does the number look suspicious to anybody else?
I think what Liz is talking about is the registry number of the ship. Which I couldn't possibly comment on because I didn't build this map, so...
That's not a civilian aircraft.
It's the devil himself. Dun, dun, dun.
I was looking at that, I'm like, NCC. And then I'm like, oh no.
No, entirely unintentional, I assure you.
I don't believe you. Yeah, can Trasa, like, or somebody scan for any other, like, did we scan, if we scan for, like, bodies and stuff, for, I guess, we did scan for life forms as well. Are there any life forms around here?
Not at the moment, no. Animal life forms,
All right.
perhaps, but nothing bigger than.
Alright, and then Tavish is probably going to go and have a bit of a walk
Woozy.
around. Yeah.
Can Gurkha and Garrow assess the surrounding area to figure out where the Starfleet officers would or could have gone?
Sure.
What tracks?
Zoom back a bit here.
Flesk is going to do the Starfleet equivalent of kicking tires, just like donk. What's wrong with this?
Okay.
I'm gonna stop there with Tavish because she's out of breath.
Alright, let's have... I mean, Gurkow can assist with this, but if you're looking to have Garrow do this too. Reason and security with a difficulty of 1 to get an idea of the situation as it currently stands around this place. So, who wants to be Garrow? Let's have Chris.
Yeah, I'll go. Hopefully my luck changes this time.
I know.
So this is mostly going to be Garrow, so this is going to be 2 dice for Garrow. This is going to be reason and security.
Cool. Any kind of focus.
Maybe survival, because if he's looking for tracks or an idea of where survivors might have gone, that makes sense to me. Gurkow can assist with her high reason and pretty good security. That's not bad from Garrow, actually.
It looks like your luck's turning, because me and you are the only ones that have rolled a 20 so far.
Gurkow...
Everyone else keeps getting 19s.
Yeah, we're bordering on getting very close. Okay, right. So, all in all, it seems that, despite the heavy damage, analysis of the ship suggests that the warp core has been shut down prior to the crash landing, which was good because it prevented a catastrophic explosion. But there is emergency power still running in the ship. The ship, however, is damaged beyond repair, so the Tesla will not fly again. It does appear, though, on having a rummage through the actual empty husk of the ship, that the computer data cores, along with all of the logs, have been removed. Most of the personal effects belonging to the scientist crew have been taken as well. The electromagnetic interference is still making tricorder scans problematic, however. So getting a good scan of the area to get a good idea of where the survivors may have gone to is proving difficult, and it's Garrow's knowledge of field survival that gives him the impression that there are footprints, or at least markings, that suggest the crew moved a certain distance towards the northwest, that suggested that the crew were looking to move off to a safer sheltered location, perhaps. But then all of a sudden their tracks cease before even getting to the tree line, which is odd. And that's when... Actually, no, before I do that's when, you guys have got a decision to make as far as the Tesla here. Because it's mostly intact, the core is intact, but the data logs are gone, as are the personal effects are gone. So it remains for you to decide what you want to do as a means of trying to prevent this from falling into the hands of locals, or shielding it from detection from the locals. Just to name some ideas off the top of my head. Any thoughts from yourselves?
Sorry. Sorry, I'm getting cursed images from Mark.
What are you? Never mind. Actually, I don't want.
No, I'm sending it. Yeah.
Thank you. But in the meantime, however,
would pattern enhancers sort of cut through the interference a bit?
Sure.
If we make
Did
the
you bring
cones
any?
beam the ship into space. The ship itself would have some equipment, right?
Okay, no, point.
As
Civilian ship, but okay. I can grant you that one. Pattern enhancers would allow for better sensor cohesion through the interference. Yes. What was your thought?
Beam it out into space.
Beam the entire ship up out into space.
Wouldn't
That's
they
rad.
notice that? The locals. A reverse
Well.
meteor.
Well, it's a beam, isn't it? It's not. I mean, not a tractor beam, but it's just transport.
In a way, so that it's not there anymore. No, it's a thought. Yeah.
Mid 20th century is all about UFOs, isn't it? So we'll give them a real mystery.
So something crashed, but if when they go and investigate, they find nothing there but an empty furrow. Yeah, so it would be a Herculean effort to beam something that big into space, sure, but pattern enhancers would make it easier. And yes, that would be a good way to prevent anyone from ever finding anything of it, and that would leave the combs to, I don't know, tow it away later on, since it's already in space. It's doable. Like I said, not easy, but it's certainly doable. If that's something you want to go with. What do the rest of you think? Do the rest of you have any ideas?
I'd have thought it'd been easier to do that, but after chopping up into pieces, a more manageable beam. I just think it's weird that we'd be able to use a transporter to transport a whole ship of this size.
Can we just destroy the ship?
Or just run? Okay.
Like Black Hawk Down style bombing. Just set explosives and run.
Okay, all right. I know where this is going. Yeah. I don't know if I want Tarish to create a bomb from a ship.
You wouldn't be creating a bomb, you'd be setting the self-destruct system and getting it to destroy itself, but technically that's a bomb as well, though, because it's on a timed...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. They can ignore what I just said.
My argument for... I feel like it's going to be really difficult to beam
Oh, yeah.
something like
Yeah.
a ship out. It's going to be like super difficult. It's going to be difficult, like putting this into pieces as well. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I like, as a person who likes explosions, I really want to blow this ship up. But at the same time, I think it would be, first of all, this would be, if we're doing this, then it's the last thing we do at this site before we go somewhere else and do not come back. Because as soon as this explosion happens, it is going to be absolutely massive. It's also going to what is it? You've got to think about the environmental stuff as well. Is we have no idea what that explosion is going to do to the environment around us.
Oh, yes,
well.
we do. It's going to vaporize it.
Yes,
I mean,
but you got to
Exactly.
looking at this engineering thing. Is that you're basically exploding a warp core, which it has radiation and stuff from it. You do not know what it is going to do to the surrounding area on a long-term basis, because
No,
So-
fair enough. I have a new suggestion.
Go for it.
oh god.
No, this one's a bit less dramatic. We've got the Klingons with us. What if we just stuck a cloak on it?
Oh.
well,
hide
it
it
would
for now.
still be there, though. I mean, we'd have to sort it out at some point. And as well, I agree with Tavish that if we blow it up, that's probably against the Prime Directive.
Well, if you want to get
Not
technical,
really.
it's actually for the Prime Directive, because you'd be removing any technology that shouldn't be getting into the hands of the locals.
Can we
But
transfer
what
it?
if we're destroying the ecological the environment for them, and it impacts them as well.
Yeah, there's that. But
to Tavish's first point, cutting up's complicated. No, it isn't. Self-destruct just cuts it up into lots of little pieces. But in terms of
stop making reasonable arguments.
Ecological concerns, we wouldn't just hit self-destruct, run. We can salvage stuff off the ship if we think it's going to be pollutant. Chuck it on the shuttlecraft, send that up, and then set self-destruct and go hunt down this other power source, which is probably the warp core. We haven't investigated it yet.
Well, I haven't even gotten the ship yet, so...
That's right. Fleska's given it a kick, and he can confirm that this ship is broken. And the quickest, safest thing to do, to adhere to the Prime Directive, is take anything off that's useful or concerning, blow it up, hunt down a power source, and the possible survivors.
Give me a month. I'll make another power nacelle.
now
From all the spare parts.
Go on, sorry. Nope. Okay.
There's no other words. It's just a month to make a power cell.
Look. I think
that Tavish didn't immediately go with explosion option.
Well, yes. She's missed a lot.
Well, it hasn't been going well with the explode. I'm trying to keep to how things have happened with, with Tavish and explosions, and how...
Oh, no, this is way safer, because Tavish hasn't made the explosion. It's already been built in as a self-destruct, so we're just setting it. Tavish doesn't need to be involved. Everyone's safe.
This is, of course, assuming that, far be it for me to suggest a course of action here, but essentially activating the self-destruct mechanism is just setting the warp core to overload. You're taking the coolant out, and it's just like to my understanding, it becomes then like a runaway nuclear reactor. It just keeps on getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter until it goes bang, which is then more of a kinetic explosion. But of course, with a nuclear reactor, there's also nuclear fallout, so forget I said anything in that regard. But we're all assuming here that it's just that you're going to the length of just set the self-destruct, run.
You've got to fix it first, because before there isn't any... Well, that's why I want to get into the ship. I want to see what systems are...
We're suggesting here, we're not even contemplating the idea that you guys are not good enough scientists and engineers that you could rig the system so that it blows up just enough.
Yeah, we could, but the bigger boom is the more certain removal of technology.
Sure.
I really want to agree with Mark, but I can't.
Then agree with Mark. But what's the but?
I can't. It's pure science. More boom is less stuff.
I can't because Tavish, because of the things. I mean, the last time she set a bomb, something happened to Sobek, and since then, she's been so reluctant to just blow stuff up.
Well, Lolly HS has just given us the thumbs up on Moonbeam, so what do you think, Lolly? Should we blow the ship up or not? Anybody else on chat want to put their 5 cents in, as they say? Blow up the ship or not?
Yeah, let's blow up the ship. Also,
I do wonder if we are getting ahead of ourselves slightly.
Doesn't know about the whole search for Sobek.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, good point. Trasa does not know about the whole search for Sobek thing. So,
can Flesk soothe Tavish's nerves by saying we're not blowing it up? We're simply forcing a rapid overheat of critical systems and then vacating the area. Using his magical powers of negotiation.
I want to roll. I want to roll to see if he persuades.
All right, if you want to do it that way, let's do it that way. But this is going to be a contested roll then, so whoever scores the highest wins. So let's go with... Now, Tavish is using one of her scars here, actually, as it turns out. So we should really put that in, actually, that you do have a psychological scar from that. So, because scars are almost like values insofar as they are trauma that inform the way you act. So I should really put that down here, that Tavish here has a scar, which is, of course, what should we call it? Just the search for Sobek. We'll just call it search for Sobek, because we know what we're talking about. So that's what's informing her decision of that. We're going with, you're fighting against your own instinct here, which suggests to me this is insight into yourself. So let's go with insight and command for Tavish versus Flesk's presence and command, I suppose.
No focuses.
Well,
I mean, I have a focus in persuasion.
Oh, okay.
do you have a focus in persuasion? Yes, you do have a focus in persuasion.
Which means I can use my star-cross to double my focus range.
Oh.
But go on, Connie.
Ooh.
Let's say, so can we definitively say which one is the most adherent to the Prime Directive? Not blowing it up or blowing it up. Assuming that, there is the other option of, spiriting away.
Yes.
The Tesla by a more complicated means.
I'm leaning towards that. I think with two ships, we have two tractor beams at our disposal potentially. But I wonder if we're getting ahead of ourselves. We should actually look in there first if we're able to.
That's why I really wanted to go into the ship.
Oh, we're going to look it in and salvage stuff.
We can make a decision now and then decide now, figure out later. Yeah,
we can decide now if no other option presents itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so rereading the information I just fed you, it is possible, and I assumed that you did go in, so I short texted it. So just to remind you that anybody who does look in does find the systems are more or less intact. The warp core is more or less intact, but it's been turned off. The crash has made the thing structurally unlive-inable, but there are computer logs that have been taken. And there are personal effects that have been taken. To discover that, you would need to go inside the ship anyway to discover that people's personal effects are missing. So you would find that the ship is, for the most part, intact, but is structurally unsound and therefore will not fly again anytime soon, safely. So it can be towed back. So any and all of the available means that you have posited so far, everything from beaming it to beaming it piecemeal to cloaking it to just outright destroying it, are all still valid, viable options. And all of them conform to the Prime Directive.
I like Connie's suggestion of, we've got two ships, for a guess, hopefully tractor beams can get down here, can reach further enough for both ships to grab this ship at night, not during the day, because that's just...
what's to stop them doing it right now? Why not right now? Why at night? They're going to beam it into space.
Away from anyone, right?
What was that? Sorry, Chris?
We are a long way from any kind of local civilization, right?
Not a long way, but certainly some distance off.
It would be hard to tell what was happening at that distance. It's the power source that's much closer.
So, final decision. What are we doing with the ship? Beaming it, cloaking it, blowing it up. What was that, Connie?
I think Flesk can still do his persuasion. I think it'd be fun to do, a roll for it. But I was saying that I can assist. If Flesk is blow it up and Tavish is not blow it up, then I will assist Tavish and hopefully use my interstellar law
I think
As a
Liz has
focus.
just cast her vote. She wants to see explosion.
So, I'm still on mine. At the bottom of the options list, cloaking I think is the worst possible idea.
Yeah.
Tractor beam if we fail this persuasion. Or if I fail this persuasion.
Okay. Then let's go with the persuasion check, just because we're all curious to see how it's going to go.
I mean, if Connie is supporting Tavish, is Trasa able to inspire Flesk?
You know what? Yes.
Now, what I was saying before about Tavish having a scar that is used instead of a value, that does mean that this scar would allow Tavish to use a point of determination if she really, really wanted to. Because it is an emotional scar.
Alright. Do I really want to use a determination
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
on a roll to see... Oh.
Who wins a persuasion?
Oh.
Tell you what, just to help you make that decision, I'm going to make it harder for myself
In
to
order
earn
to
a
get a point
determination.
back.
Yeah, using my value negotiation. So Flesk is becoming very, very experienced at negotiating with alien locals, protesting.
He's basically going to be using a more aggressive stance, I think, is what he's saying here, is Flesk.
He's one step below pulling rank, which he doesn't want to do. He wants to convince people.
As such, he is. Yeah, it's a bit more of a. You will listen to me, Lieutenant Commander. Puff chest, and we all know Flesk has got a hell of a chest, so you know.
And you've seen the photo that's been sent to you, probably.
So
Yes.
yes, I have,
I
and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I got that.
All right, let's have this roll off. See what happens.
So it's 2 dice,
Well, 2 dice for each of you.
and then how do we do inspiration? I've got a focus.
Unfortunately for Flesk, I'm only 1 dice.
Cool.
No, you're rolling 2 dice. Oh, yeah, you're rolling 1 dice, but are you rolling determination?
I am rolling
He's-
determination.
All right,
I
alrighty.
think. Hold on. I also need to go to my journal as well.
Yep, go to your personal log and make a note that your scar informed the way you acted here.
What's the?
Oh, the star date. Or the episode number is 33, I think we're at now. Let's check.
Oh yeah.
Episode 33. Episode 33.
No.
Do I just put scar?
I called it Search for
so-
Sobek, so... So we've got Flesk and Trasa rolling against Gurkow and Tavish? Was that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah,
Depending how desperate I am, right?
Yeah.
Your Flask, it's presence and command, right? For
Sure.
inspiration.
yeah, presence and command.
She's trying to be inspirational.
Yep.
How do you spell Trasa, by the way?
Trasa. Okay. And Chris is back just in time to see the roll-off. Alright, so you have got 3 to contend with here. So Gurkow and Tavish now roll in capacity. So Gurkow is rolling 1, and it's going to be... Well, in Gurkow's case, it's going to be presence and command. But
Oh my
whereas
God.
it's insight and command for Tavish, so they're
Can I-
using their strengths, you two are not, so that says everything you need to know.
In my thingy, I've put Scar, search for Sobek, Flesk, and Trasa wanting Tavish to blow up stuff.
Yep, that's fine. As long as we remember, that's sufficient enough for you to remember next time, anytime you reference it again.
Okie dokie.
Can I use? Can I take a point of momentum? To use
Oh,
it
no,
to
no,
read it?
that's not fair. I could have done that.
Oh, okay. Let's see then. Can I do?
I've also used the point of determination.
I could use a point of determination.
If you want to do that, I'm fine with it. But if you take momentum, I will take 1 momentum.
I think it's a bit crazy to take. Well, to
Yeah.
do this,
But if
Yeah.
you want to use your determination, that's yours to spend.
Actually, I'm going to try and make an argument here
Sure.
to Matt.
Yeah.
I don't think I should be using a point of determination,
No?
as this is more of a flaw of Tavish's. I think I should be getting one.
Are you going to make it difficult for yourself?
You want to make it more difficult for yourself to ignore this.
Do it.
Yeah, I feel like this is actually...
Alright, okay.
A flaw implies difficulty.
Yep,
So
okay.
is this basically Tavish doesn't want to blow it up. Dave really does. So,
that is completely and utterly the truth. Yeah.
That's alright.
Alright, in which
Yeah.
case, you can put the determination point back. You're not rolling with determination anymore. In fact, you don't have to beat 3, you now have to beat 4.
Okay.
To stand your ground.
Okay. Can I take, if I'm doing this, can I take a momentum to get an extra dice?
I made it difficult for myself as well, so I'd take a momentum dice as well. It cancels each other out. But also, I have.
Yeah, this is a
double-
roll-off, so utilising the momentum pool is probably not an idea here. So
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
we're putting a
Alright.
wall around the group momentum,
Insight and command.
please. And
I didn't see the rolls before.
presence and command
Presence
from
and
Virka,
command.
please.
Can I use
Oh.
the interstellar law as a focus?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not that invested to use a determination myself,
That's fine.
so I'll just go.
Seeing as Tavish made it harder.
Oh, hello.
Oh!
Gurkhau's
Oh.
force of personality coming back into it.
Alright,
Oh my god.
Please,
She's
dice
sticking
gods.
it to the man once again.
Please, dice gods. Please, please.
Let's see how you do. Come on. That looks like it's a draw. Okay, no, sure, that's fine.
let's just
Neither
blow up
side
half
wins,
the
at which point I spend a threat and the following happens. Okay. A sudden breeze stirs up ash from the crash site as several flyers come out from the cover of the trees and settle on the ground nearby. The vehicles each disgorge half a dozen or so humanoids. They are slight of build and on average shorter than humans, and are covered in a light coat of fur with large lemur-like eyes. They move with a graceful agility as they point energy weapons of some kind in your direction. Lormians have just descended en masse. Halt where you are! Right then, so it seems your bickering and trying to decide what to do has cost you valuable time, and the Lormians have come to see what's up. What you notice, though, is that they don't give the crashed ship another a second glance. They come in, they disgorge their troops, the troops move in, point their weapons at you, and don't seem to be all that surprised. So, the leader of the Lormians points a gun in your direction and says, "You will leave your vessels here. You will come with us to the capital city." Lie.
Am I able to remotely set the detonation before we leave for, say, like 5-6 hours from now to blow up the ship?
You're going to have to do it very
Sneaky
stealthily.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Sure. Okay,
What on
so
earth is a stealth roll?
What
you
does
go on.
what does the captain and Commander Varrock look like during this? Are they looking like they're gonna give up?
They have been watching all of this unfold themselves and have made no move to interject, no move to stop you, no move to encourage anything. They're just watching.
With the security.
But yes, as the security guys turn up, Darkran and his officer do come around the back of the shuttle to have a look. And then Darkran's man reaches for a disruptor pistol, but Darkran then puts his hand over this guy reaching for his holster and just shakes his head lightly. And just keeps watching what's going on. I was about to do something, which was this.
Matt,
Yeah, someone was trying to say something to me then? Yep.
Seeing as I'm on the other side of the vessel, can they see me?
Well, that's what we're going to check now. So, how sneaky are you being? Let me have a look. I'm just going to make that roll there. Okay. This suggests control and security from whoever's trying to do this application of the disrupt sequence remotely. So essentially, Flesk, you are trying to sneakily do it by entering commands on probably your EVA suit's interface panel.
Yep, that's going to be my worst possible one, but okay.
Isn't it just?
Could I try to help him by looking over his shoulder and whispering to him?
How
Or at
to
the very
actually
least,
do it.
by interposing your body between him and the outsiders. Maybe, yeah, sure.
I was going to suggest as well, Sock can run a distraction, like, hello, diplomacy. Keep
Yeah,
him
sure.
occupied.
Yep.
You've got momentum enough to include one extra person in this, if you really wanted to, so sure.
If it's control and security, I'm betting Garrow has really high stats.
If you want to use Garrow instead of Flesk or whoever.
Yeah, Garrow would be better than Flesk for control and security by a long way.
Okay. I've already taken it off for Garrow, haven't I? Yes, I have. Okay. So, whoever's leading, roll 2. Whoever's only doing 1. The foci will be anything in regards to being stealth and avoiding detection. So, do it.
Who's rolling for Garrow then?
You can, since you were the one with the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, give my control and command.
Okay, so Trasa assists with control and command, which is good. Okay, 1 success so far.
Control and security. Might be a stretch, but I'd like to justify Garrow's survival, because an element of survival is hunting, being stealthy.
You're diverting attention. I'll still say yes, but
It's a stretch.
it's a semi-stretch. Oh, okay, very good. Well, blimey, Garrow. You didn't need any help, did you? Okay, so you believe you got away with that, coding in a remote detonation sequence for several hours from where you currently are. As for Tavish, you think they probably would have seen you when they did their ships did a circle around the area before they landed. So chances are good Tavish has been seen as well.
And I... Oh no. No, I can't. I just remembered what you said earlier. How comms are pretty bad.
Yes, comms are bad down here.
I was going to suggest that Tavish, kind of puts a hand to her communicator and quietly just says, we've been compromised.
I've got an extension of that idea, because I've just realised what we've done. If they're making us leave the shuttlecraft behind, next to a soon-to-be detonating ship, how's Tavish feel about running to the shuttlecraft and trying to take off to the combs?
Oh.
I mean,
I'd be Tavish the furthest to run, I think.
it's just like the Prime Director has just fallen. Of course, they caught us in the act now, but it's like, my god. This is what we're doing now, is it?
Tavish definitely been seen.
They've already got phaser weapons, which is surprising. They
don't have phaser weapons, no.
Oh.
They have energy weapons.
Okay, so more advanced than we were assuming, and they were unsurprised by the crash, so they'd already found it. So, saving the shuttle so that we may have a way to at least let people know we've been captured is a good idea.
This what happens when no matter what you want to blow it up.
We should have just blown it up quickly. Let's see.
Hoisted by our own.
Man, I should have just pulled rake.
Should've, would've, could've,
Oh, yeah.
didn't, never mind.
Saying that, Tavish running for the shuttle, yeah, she still needs to go past past these people to get to the shuttle. There's no way for her to probably stealthily do this.
I mean,
So-
if we get
Maybe.
if left set it to detonate in a few hours, all we have to do is resolve everything by then, right?
Technically, I suppose, yes.
Yes.
What you
I don't
thinking?
see if we don't cozy enough with them that we can be like, yeah, actually, I left something in the shuttle. You guys go on ahead, or something.
Split the party. Or make it look like you're splitting the party, but then make a run for it as the shuttle takes off.
Just to make sure, just move the shuttle away a bit so it doesn't get stay in the
Consumed.
blast zone.
Yeah.
So you are going to make a run for it.
Oh, just to convince them to like say we forgot something, or actually we have personal effects and logs for them.
Right, so what
Sounds
is
like
the
you need a
actual plan here?
negotiator.
Are you actually just trying to do anything, and then just all jump into the shuttle and just run?
We can't do that.
No,
I
not
don't
all
think.
of us. At least one person moves the shuttle. We just need to negotiate or trick them into letting us grab our possessions. I think it's what Connie's going for. And then move the shuttle.
Yeah, we just
Rather
don't
than
want
that.
it to explode. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas my idea was the shuttle to go back to the combs to let the crew know. But I'm happy with just
mean-
doing the same thing, but having the shuttle moved out of the blast radius.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, right, okay, I got you.
But haven't they got flying vehicles?
Yes, they do, apparently.
Can
so,
you fly as high as the shuttle?
Nope.
So the shuttle's not a scary thing.
You want to try and persuade them to let one more of you pilot the shuttle away, essentially.
Yeah. Either by saying, "Oh, we'll just get our stuff. We have provisions we need." Oh, look, it moved.
Oh, if it. Yeah.
But you're leaving people behind to deal with the aftermath of your sudden lie and betrayal.
should we just go with them then, and then convince
Yeah,
them later?
Yeah.
Or no, we could just leave the
Yeah, I
two
think
other
so.
Klingons.
No. Go with them, and deal with this later. Persuade them that we need to have someone bring that shuttle to wherever we go to the capital.
Okay. How are we feeling with
we
this
could just
then?
say that we could just say
That's
that
good to me.
this
Okay.
ship is valuable to us. We would like to bring it with us.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that works actually.
The Lormians are going to allow you to come mostly to enter their ships so that they can take you wherever they're going to take you, but they do allow you to move the shuttle away from the radius of the Tesla, but they do insist on at least 2 of them traveling on the shuttle with you. If this is acceptable,
Yeah, this is fine.
then
Now, who's moving the shuttle?
yeah, so they are on the shuttle. 2 of them are on the shuttle with you, just to move out of the area, and the Lormians have then just packed the rest of you into the 2 ships that they brought along and take you back to the capital. Right, okay, that's where we are going to go.
The sad part is if Trasa was moving the shuttle, she could have probably took the 2 out.
But we
Ooh.
find ourselves in a massive building with high ceilings and glass walls that, upon closer inspection, are actually made of an opaque amber. You're taken to a room that overlooks the city and the dense, misty forests beyond. The most striking thing about this building, it is actually an enormous living tree. Almost all Lormian dwellings, now that you are in the capital city itself, appear to be made of living trees, and these spaces are naturally grown inside the trunks of the trees, and soft moss lines the floors rather than carpeting. It doesn't take you long before the Lormians bring you to a room where you find 4 non-Lormians, and you recognize their garb as well as their overall faces as being the survivors of the Tesla that you've been looking for. Dr. Sott recognizes his old medical compatriot, Sire Lord. It is... so, yes, the survivors, they excitedly greet you and introduce you to the head of the Lormian government, who enters... if I can find him. So that's Lorman. So that guy's security. That guy's security. Where's the head? There he is. So let's put this Klingon guy around here. So, Chief Minister, that's Minster. It says Minster rather than Minister, pardon me. A Minster is something entirely different than what I was going for. So.
Yeah, that's what they call them, just seeing as they're raccoons.
So, the head of the Lormian government, Chief Minister Turel, also enters this space and offers his greetings to you. And of course, one of the first things to your minds is, what the hell is actually going on here? So it's at this point that Dr. Emmett Sherman starts to talk, and due to the amount of time we have remaining, I'm afraid I'm going to have to concatenate this down somewhat into salient points. So the scientists tell you, whilst they were busy cataloguing spatial anomalies, the Tesla was struck with unexpected gravimetric waves that damaged the ship's warp drive as well as other systems, including comms. They managed to limp to the Orgoon system and tried to set the ship down, but the damage to the ship was too great and they crashed. Captain Andrew Forrest unfortunately died attempting to patch together the warp drive. The Andorian Ibab Thvet died during the crash itself. So Dr. Sherman took command of the mission after the captain's death. According to the Lormian head of state, the Lormians detected the crash and arrived soon after. The next bit is something that does kind of shock you a little bit. The scientists opted to accompany the Lormians back to the capital city in the hopes of finding a way of contacting the Federation. Because it turns out civilians are not beholden to the Prime Directive. Only Starfleet are.
Oh,
So-
that's a bit of a loophole.
So, the crew of the Tesla opted to accompany the Lormians back to their capital city in the hopes of finding a way to contact the Federation. But the scientists then began learning about what's going on the planet and have unanimously, all four of them, decided to help the Lormians with the situation as pertains to their planet. And they explain it thus. Chief Minister Turrell says that the Lormians need your help. Not just the scientists, but also the crews. And it seems that Orgun 3 is suffering from severe geological distress, as well as electromagnetic disturbances that are wreaking havoc on the planetary communication systems. Major earthquakes are starting to become more common, and they estimate that the entire planet will break up within 2 weeks. The Lormians don't understand the cause of the disturbances. They are hoping that the crew can use their technology, your technology, to attempt to determine the cause. Now, the Lormians do have plans to use what technology they have to evacuate as many people as they can to the other M-class planet in this system, Orgun 2. With their own technology, the Lormians may be able to get a few hundred to safety, but with the help from the scientists, and now with a starship or two in orbit, they could probably rescue far more. From a scientific point of view, a few hundred people will not provide enough genetic diversity, and so it will mean the end of the Lormians as a species, unless more are evacuated. And it seems that the civilian scientists here have agreed to help the Lormians. It's at this point that Captain Darkran does actually burst into scornful laughter over all of you and just drags everybody's attention away for a moment, which is, the much vaunted Prime Directive of the Federation is applicable only to Starfleet. Well, that's just precious.
It's Flesh sort of sighs and goes, yeah. It's sort of a defeated gasp of, yeah, that's right.
Trasa thinking about it, and technically being part of the Klingon Empire now, does give a little chuckle too. It's like, never thought about it that way.
But we don't have to worry about it now because they're now aware. They've already been interfered with.
Yeah. So we didn't break it.
Yeah. The Prime Directive hasn't been broken by anyone because it's not applicable to those who have introduced the species. So we should plan an evacuation at the same time as we should probably go see what this mysterious energy source was and see if that's the cause of the disturbance.
Now, as far as this evacuation goes, the Lormians and the scientists have proposed moving the Lormians from Orgun 3 to Orgun 2. But if you remember, Orgun 2 is a planet with a lot lower level of technological development, and it has a native population who are known to be quite aggressive and outnumber the Lormians as well. So, something to take into consideration.
I think we should try and just save the planet.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting we do both, but not take them to Lormia 2. They can be refugees for now. And we explained to them that if you're interested in your species survival, putting you on a hostile planet, not the best idea. It risks your survival, and we will try and find a better one. So evacuate, just in case we can't fix the planet.
So, start looking to evacuate if you can't find a cause. Okay, fine. So,
Because
the,
we
Go on,
we
sorry.
don't need all of the Lamians to help us. Just the scientists, survivors, and guides.
Chris?
And then
Yes, true. The logistics of it, however, are what is giving you a headache. But someone was going to say something then?
I mean, we still have to let the Combs know somehow.
Yes.
we've got a shuttlecraft, and we
Yes.
can use all of our shuttlecrafts to go up and down.
There's
just
that,
need
but
to-
there's only so much room on the combs.
There's
Talking
the
a
Klingon
ship that
ship.
has got capacity for a couple of hundred crew members. So you're trying to make room in cargo bays and med bays and the shuttle bay for that's probably only a couple of hundred at most. At most, the combs could support.
And the Klingon ship,
Well, there's the Klingon ship. Yes,
because we just need
that's
to
going to be a
save.
similar problem.
Yeah. Because we just need to get them off the planet. How many? What was the population we're talking about?
2 million, right?
So let's see. Hang on a second. Blah 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 blah. Let me see. Numbers. What were the numbers? Spodge. Diddly. Prime directive, help the size. Okay. Yeah, I suppose any you won't be able to. There's a population of about a couple of million. Viable survivability numbers for the species would be in the couple of thousand. In order to maintain genetic diversity, enough to continue the species and not have it collapse in on itself. And it's that 1,000 number that's going to be problematic on its own. So,
I mean,
yes, go on.
if they're estimating 2 weeks before the, planet goes to the, well, if the planet dies in 2 weeks, then we've got time to, call for backup and evacuate some people.
You're still
Doesn't
talking
mean
about
we don't-
moving millions, a couple of millions of people.
Well, we'll try for the 1,000 first. I mean, not for the 1,000 first. We'll try and get a minimum of a few thousand. While we, the crew, will try and fix the planet.
Okay.
Ooh,
Just
If
an
we-
academic question. Sorry,
Sure.
just an academic question. On the that ship we just set to explode on the already self-destructing planet. Is that going to be an issue? Do we need to deal with? Do we need to stop that now?
Well, that's a question, isn't it?
Just hypothetically speaking. Or,
How much
wasn't-
space does that one have?
it wasn't livable.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that
the
would be
structural
a terrible-
integrity on that is gone.
and that's before it's blown up, and then it's very much gone.
But yeah, Chris does make an accurate point now. Do you still want to blow up the Tesla? Knowing what you now know.
I mean, there's no need anymore, right?
same, I agree.
Yeah, there's honestly no need to
Yeah,
have it.
there's no need.
Cancel self-destruct. Okay, noted.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cancel self-destruct,
Okay, cool.
and then go investigate saving
Yeah.
the planet. Whilst are we keeping them on our ships? If it's going to be a temporary thing, and we've got 2 weeks, do we shuttle them to Lamia 2 under Klingon guard as a temporary refugee base.
What happened to Lamia 1?
Oh, was it Lamia 1?
Orgun 1 is too close to
Orgun.
its system's sun and therefore is uninhabitable. Orgun 2 is a Class M planet and therefore is a viable relocation point to a certain extent. And Orgun 3 is the one you're currently on, which is currently destabilizing. Shall we just go to the power source and see what we can't find in order to
Save the planet.
save the planet, if you can?
Yeah.
So, quickly get you there. If I can just move us in. So. Oop, no, wrong one. Okay, that answers that question. We're going to want you and you and you and you and you and you and you. So, moving further north, you are given use of your shuttle once again, thankfully, which does speed up operations quite nicely. Let me just get folks lined up correctly here. Have I missed anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I haven't. And eventually you come across a cave system, which seems to lead further in and down. So we're just going to move quickly there.
Are there any holes to jump down?
Actually, thankfully, no. It's just a gradual slope, so it's a cave system itself that you are currently in. Hopefully everybody can see that.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So you're able to move down. So don't forget, you have got control of Garrow as well. I will try and get Darkran and his guy to keep up as the kind of... Darkran and his guy have been very quiet this entire time. They've not said anything except for that derisive snort about the Prime Directive. Just carrying on.
Can we have... So, presumably someone is keeping an eye on them, sorry.
Well, are they?
Yeah, Trasa, 100% Trasa's keeping an eye on those two.
Okay. Which is difficult
You
to do
think
when
she
you're
would
charging
trust-
off at the front, but yes, okay. Noted.
She does not trust them further than she can throw them.
Eyes in the back of her head.
Right.
So-
And she really wants to see how far that can be.
Sot and Flesk are scouting ahead for ladders just in
Right,
case.
so Sot and Flesk, when
Oh,
you
no.
get to this area, what you notice is there's a precipitous drop. So this big black area here is a straight shaft down. But there's either a wider lip that goes around it or a very, very narrow one. The narrow one obviously takes less time to get around it to what looks to be another shaft opening to the opposite side. But the safer way is the one around that traces the northern lip.
Yeah,
So,
Flesk and Sot have the same idea. Is that to hell with the dangerous way?
No. Geronimo!
whether Tavish and Gurkow agree with that is entirely up to Connie and Dave. So,
Well, if you break your legs, the doctor's miles ahead.
so far, all of this cavern looks to be entirely natural in its creation. So, nothing so far that suggests why there is actually a power signature coming from down here, but...
What's all this?
Why has Tavish gone into the void?
Why has Tavish
I
gone
was
into the
about to
void?
ask a
Well,
question. Both-
she's in a
both
dark
Tavish
place.
and Hopkins was there at
Right,
some
found
point.
something.
Right, Sot, yes. There seems to be a gas leak of some sort coming in, leaking out of the stonework.
Don't worry, Dr. Sot, I've got my EVA suit on.
Yes, you do.
Don't worry, Doc. I'm protected.
Yeah, don't worry about me. See ya.
Dr. Sot, with a quick analysis, can probably glean that this is natural gas, essentially. Dangerous if inhaled too much, so you probably don't want to stick around there for too long, but also, you know, no weapons fire, nothing that lights a spark, anything like that. Yep.
Cloudy down here.
Interesting gift you just gave us there, Mark. So, you know, basically hold your breath, but be careful going forward because gas. let's move,
Aha!
folks down. Now there you come to a bit where there are obvious steam vents as well, so it's getting warmer the further down you go. And yes, Sot has made an aha discovery. As something that looks very much not natural has just come into view. So,
just got to the gas, by the way.
yeah. So, you see light ahead breaking through the darkness, not the dim glow of phosphorescent fungus, but the cold harshness of artificial lighting. It looks like a cave-in caused a rupture into an artificially carved and lit corridor. The cave-in appears to have destroyed the carved-out tunnel in one direction, and the other ends in a set of sliding metal doors. The tunnel was clearly carved by some kind of laser mining drill and has surfaces that are as smooth as glass. Light panels that have no apparent power source line the ceiling. The door has no markings, but the moment Dr. Sot approaches it, the doors open. It's a self-contained little box that resembles a turbo lift. Everyone's piling in. Okay. Then it's
Didn't we scan?
No one has uttered one scan yet. No one has told me this.
I'm going to scan this and see what's what.
Thank the gods it isn't a ladder. Well, quite.
I'm going to stand outside of the turbo lift with Gurko because I'm not going in anything which I don't know anything about.
Flask is in an EVA suit and is unconcerned.
All right.
Doctor
cool.
starts vibing to the elevator music.
It's like I survived a war. What could an elevator do?
Just
Gurkow-
wanted to check.
Go on,
So,
sorry. Yeah.
Gurkow and Tavish are staying in the
Haven't.
cave filled with natural gas without EVA suits. That's their...
Well, no, the natural gas thing was way back that way. So
Oh, okay.
you've
Yeah,
passed that
Hawkins
particular
really
point,
thought
feel
about
like-
firing a weapon at the gas when the Klingons walked by.
but
The only
really.
people experience the natural gas were the people walking behind Flask.
Yeah, just don't puncture his suit. Could all come out at once. What was I going to say? Due to time and the fact that I know exactly how smart both Tavish and Gurkow are, scanning the elevator, for lack of a better word, you recognize the mineralogical deposits. You've come across structures like this before in the Shackleton Expanse. This seems to be the same type of material made in the same configuration as those other structures that you've come across of an ancient civilization in the Shackleton Expanse.
Quick question,
What's-
Matt. Is this the ancient civilization which basically had really like flat walls? There was, you could never, like, it was just seamless.
No, that was something else. That was that giant artificial satellite that you found that one time. That was maybe made by the Iconians. And
okay.
whereas you're not far off with ancient alien civilizations, the other ones that you found in the Shackleton Expanse have definitely been of a make that resembles but is not of Iconian design. This is that same mysterious ancient civilization that you found. A communication beacon was causing seismic events on a distant world. There was even, when you went back to SETI Alpha 5, you found that its geological disturbances were being caused by an out-of-control system failure of ancient civilization of similar design. So,
Can I also ask another question? Is this also the ancient civilization where I took code from them to make Nihil?
yes.
Oh. Oh, I'm going in the elevator. I don't care anymore.
Suddenly, Tavish has a more brisk pace to her step.
It's the one that made Gurko go nuts for a second, right? Is the medical term.
Go nuts.
That's right. Gurkow felt the need to go inside the well, it wasn't a pyramid, was it? It was a
The obelisk thingy.
five-sided
right?
obelisk. That was it. Yeah, that was the one that made Gurkow really want to get inside, and she would fight anybody who tried to stop her.
So does this mean I have a
Ironically, now the
subconscious
last on the
impulse
list.
now? I mean, I've learned my lesson. I've done my scan, and I'm gonna tell everyone with an FYI, this is related to that civilization, that you all jumped in the lift without a second thought.
Now that you've had a second and third thought and finally got in, the doors close behind you, at which case the elevator goes down a few levels, but it's so soft, the descent. You can feel it moving, but you can't feel how deep it goes until eventually it lands and the doors open. And you find yourselves. Outside the elevator is a vast underground cavern filled with incredible machinery. The air is hot and dry with an acrid smell. A huge metallic towers covered with lights flicker as charges of electricity play back and forth between them. Between you and the electrified towers is a command center of some kind. Rows of computers and control devices line the walls, and large screens show mostly indecipherable information scrolling past. Occasionally something familiar flashes on a screen, such as a geographic map of the planet and a model of the solar system. Hey guys, I found the TARDIS. Well, as it happens.
Matt?
Yo.
You know this language we can't read?
Yeah.
Can Nylil read it?
You can ask her.
Nylil, can you read this?
Processing. Linguistic database does not register this as familiar.
Okie dokie.
Can't you figure it out?
But do.
We don't have a linguistics specialist anymore.
You could still try and decipher the purpose of what's going on here. Engineering and science is still engineering and science, but go on, sorry.
Because Hopkins does have linguistics.
Yep.
Because she tried to figure out what this language says.
I can assist with cultural studies, maybe?
You could. Yeah, sure.
Can I slowly get a cable out of a pocket, please?
You're going to try and jack your brain into this, aren't you?
No. I wouldn't do that at all.
Okay, so
She's trying to get plugged in, literally.
Whoever wants to try and do this, remember the first person to assist beyond the first person to assist. So the second and beyond people who assist, you need to pay a point of momentum in order to do so.
I'm not going to help with the linguistics, but I am getting ready to plug myself in, yes.
Okay, cool. So whoever's going to try and decipher what the purposes of this machine is all about can give me either insight or reason, and science or engineering, utilizing whatever foci you deem are appropriate. And as far as your observation, Chris, about the TARDIS, well, have a guess where I got the console image from.
The TARDIS was actually in Strange New Worlds the other day.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I have heard, yes.
You missed it. It was like a blink and miss it thing from a couple of weeks ago.
You know what? For this, I'm going to use my Starcross.
Cool. Nice, good.
I will also use Starcross if I can use, because we're trying to discern what's going on, manufacturing and metallurgy. So,
Metallurgy, yep, sure.
From? I can't say that word.
And the pedant in me won't let it go, I'm afraid, so I had to correct. I'm sorry.
It's alright. There we go. The
Yep.
metal science one.
Metal science, that's
Are we
fine.
rolling two? Are we doing 2 dice each then? Or
No,
how many
1
are we
dice
rolling?
for the primary, but... no, sorry, 2 dice for the primary, 1 dice for everyone who's assisting, but you do sound like you've got a lot of people assisting with this, so...
So who's the primary? I've got reason or insight are both 10 for me, and engineering 5.
Sounds
Well,
like
I've got-
Flask
You probably-
should be good for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, because
I've
I
got
have
another
insight
five.
insight 11 with engineering 1.
Cool.
Oh,
Anybody
okay, yeah, I'll
else
leave it.
joining in with assisting? Because I think Sot said
I mean-
cultural studies.
You know what? I'm also going to steal a momentum to roll 3 dice because I've doubled my focus range.
Connie, why don't you take the reins of Sot then, in that case? Since
Alrighty.
Chris has just said he needs to pass for 2-6. For Sot, we
Ah,
are
you
looking
just-
at reason and science with
Studying-
cultural studies.
I'm back.
Oh, never
Oh.
mind.
Sorry, I just set
Poise.
the timer on the oven for a sec. But yeah, I'm happy to lead if no one else wants
It
to
seems
sit
Flask
with
is leading, but Sot can certainly assist along with everybody else who's assisting. So if Sot can give me reason and science with his cultural studies focus, Trasa is doing reason and either science or engineering with her linguistics, so probably science. Flask has taken an extra dice. so
Oh,
we've got-
nearly 2 criticals.
We got quite. So it's all on Trasa now to help with the linguistic translation. That's our last dice of the check, which is pretty good. 5 in total. That's more than enough. What did we want? More power. Oh.
When do we want it?
The machine was clearly built millennia ago, and whoever did create it obviously monitored every aspect of the planet: geological makeup, electromagnetic fields, atmospheric conditions. Incredibly, the system also seems to be able to affect these things. Everything from weather control to geological stability. The systems also seem to show that the planet was, at some time in its past, moved from a different orbit to its current location, an event that would have required almost unimaginable power. The machinery appears to, at least in part, be able to compensate for the stresses that resulted from this move. But it seems to be malfunctioning, and in order to make repairs, you have to understand how the controls are actually used. But it's at this point that Commander Darkran says, "I think I've seen enough here." As you all turn around from realizing that you took your eyes off of the Klingon captain and his accompanying officer, to see that they have both got tricorders and a disruptor pistol leveled. This is extremely interesting technology, and being able to master this would give us the ability to generate tremendous amounts of power. Being able to use it as a weapon would be unfathomably great. I could become master of an entire empire or more with this. Unfortunately, this leaves you as witnesses. I have enjoyed this little trip of ours, but let's face it, you haven't trusted me from the word go, and this has shown me that if anything, you and your Federation are nothing but fallible fools. Also willing to discard your own rules whenever they become inconvenient. And so, if you'll just put all your phasers and weapons down, we'll just take the data, and we'll make this quick and painless, yes?
If the planet's destroyed,
Matt-
you're going to lose a lot of opportunity for research.
But you won't have it either, and who knows what else I'll find in the Shackleton Expanse. Yes.
Tavish is going to put down her phaser. As she does, yeah. Seeing as I had already gotten the
Able out. Yep.
the cable out. She is putting it into herself, and then she finds the thing and then puts it into that.
So what's the thing? The console?
The console, yes.
Oh my. Okay. Alrighty. This changes things. Okay. Neural interface. I am going to inflict a deadly 4 injury on you, which means you can use 4 stress to negate not coming down with that injury. But when Tavish does this incredible flood of data goes barreling down that connection and overloads her brain. But she hangs on to one thing, and that's stop the Klingons. So, 4 stress goes. The entire installation rocks, and it makes Darkran stumble into a console and makes his veteran wobble on his feet, which gives any of you the opportunity to make a go for grabbing this Klingon's weapons, or grabbing him himself before he has a chance to do something. So either Garrow or Gurkha or Trasa.
Trasa's like diving. Trasa's like takes
Dives
that
for
opportunity.
him. Gotcha.
With her duck talk.
With the duck talk, so it gives him a shiv. Okay. As the whole installation is rocking and people are finding themselves being thrown off their feet, Darkran, I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 threat, quickly click something on his forearm and very quickly beams himself out of there. So, where is it? Klingon transporter sounds as he leaves his officer behind to be tackled by Trasa. And the whole everyone else is the whole room is rocking and reeling as the planet is now undergoing a major geological shift. But I'm going to need not Hopkins, because she's the one tackling somebody. Gurkha's over there. It's gonna have to be Tavish, but Flesk is potentially close enough to help. Reason and Engineering difficulty 3 to understand the controls.
Cool. I'm.
Would Garrow also be close enough to help?
Garrow's going to jump in and help restrain the Klingon. Yes, absolutely.
I'm 10 and 5, so I think I'll assist.
Yep.
No, I have to assist because
You have to assist.
is plugged in.
Yes.
Right.
Tavish, Reason and Engineering.
I am going to use one of my determinations.
Probably a good time to.
Yes. I am going to use Cool in a Crisis.
Right. Using mental discipline and will to try and keep everything calm and focused in order to discern. Yep, okay. As everything's coming apart.
Hold on.
So that is Flask not generating any successes at all, so it's all on Tavish. You need 3 successes. So you're using a determination, so you've already got 2. Yep, there's a chance to take an extra momentum if you want an extra dice.
I will. Okay, I've just done a quick note, and
Yep.
I will.
I had a feeling that's what the silence was for. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry, I was just making a quick note.
No, absolutely. Absolutely do it. Reason
I
and
will-
Engineering, difficulty 3.
I will take a momentum.
Yep.
I will take a momentum to make that
Let me turn that down a bit.
thing. I will also use a. I think it's this.
Show it to us in the log. Starcross, yep, okay. Double your focus range, so yep, puts dedicated. Mode attack the dedicated focus box.
Starfleet Medal of Honor doesn't work here.
Okay, so you use a determination and a focus, and you are doubling your focus range. That's quite a lot. You've got Flesk assisting, so there is that as well.
I don't think I've got anything else which will work.
So you may as well just go for the roll.
So, is that dedicated focus and
A determination,
Using-
yes.
and it's 2 dice. Using a focus as well.
Yes,
Which am I ticking that as well? Just to make
please,
sure.
please.
Okay. All right.
Go
Ticking all the
for
boxes.
it! Ooh. Good news and bad news.
Do you have a Legion of Honor?
I got rid of it.
You got rid of it? Can I use my Legion Honor to block it?
Since you are in on this attempt, yes, you can.
Why don't you use parent figure?
Because we need another person.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
It comes at a physical cost to Tavish,
That's fine.
as Nihil is now just a screech of static in your brain at the moment.
Okay.
But you've now got an idea of the controls. So you know what controls mean what, and how to bring the seismic distress under control. But now you need to find a way of fixing it in order to bring this whatever malfunction is causing the geological instability to become not an issue anymore. So you've successfully managed to figure out the controls, which means you know where to go and what to fix and how to find the problem. So now, as many of you as can possibly be feasibly come together to fix this problem, it's going to require either someone can use either insight or reason and science, and other folks can use either daring or control and engineering to try and fix this, using whatever means you think are applicable. The difficulty for this is 3, again. So those who want to assist, either using science, can use either insight or reason. Those who are going to be using engineering can use either daring or control.
I can assist.
Cool.
Oh, wait a minute. This the role was an engineering task, wasn't it?
Yes.
The first complication rolled on any engineering task. I didn't need to spend.
Well, there you go then.
Boom.
Sot's
Can
getting
I
involved,
take-
okay?
Can I take the lead and use my last determination to?
You don't need to take the lead to use a determination. But if I take the lead and roll 2 dice, I have a star-crossed to double the focus range. So I'd actually have 2 dice rolling criticals at possibly 10 instead of 5.
Either way, Sot can once again use cultural studies to point out the what certain system readouts mean.
Thank you. So reason, science.
If Gurkha wants to get involved, she can use her science as well, because now probabilities, now that you know how to actually read the console, will be able to bring things into sharp focus. And of course, Tavish and Flask doing engineering. So, what were you going to do, sorry, Connie?
I would assist, which
Assist?
amounts to nothing.
Okay. Sot can use either. Dr. Sot can use either insight or reason and science. 1 dice.
I already rolled and got the 1.
Oh, got the 1. Okay, I see it. So now it's between Flask and Tavish.
If you're alright with me taking the lead there, Tavish?
I was going to say, even if I can't roll.
You could still roll it, but it'd be just instant 2 success, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so Tavish really doesn't need a roll.
But it's
He gives a
still,
determination.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
still
a good point.
rolling a dice.
So if you've used determination, then you automatically score 2 successes. So yep, Tavish is an automatic success, a double.
Do you need if I'm thingying then? Does it means I don't need to roll then?
You don't need to roll at all, no.
Okay.
Quite right.
Cool. So we've got 3 successes so far. Should I buy an extra dice with the momentum to roll 3?
You've currently rolled 1, 2, 3 dice. You've only got your 2 dice remaining.
Disregard.
And that's not bad at all!
Boosh.
Boom, boom, boom! Alright. So... it takes a little bit of finagling. And whilst this is going on, Garrow and Trasa manage to fully restrain and disarm the Klingon. And he doesn't say anything at all, even when questioned, but probably doesn't need to. It's fairly plain what they were doing.
Trasa was supposed to keep him alive.
Well, you know, you stabbed him doesn't necessarily mean that he's dead. Yeah. You could Klingons have got like redundant organs, so you know you can stab him in his liver and he'll still have his second liver to fall back on, so it's fine.
Oh, I was picturing she was releasing a lot of anger.
If that's what you want to do, then yeah, you can basically knife the guy to death if you really want. If you really wanted that to be the way it goes down.
Especially since the person she really wanted to do left. Yes. Takes her frustration out on the
we could do with a witness to these.
Yes. Someone to question.
So, you know, more
mild stabbings, though. Not total stabbings, mild stabbings.
Kneecap stabbing.
Oh! Kneecap stabbings. Ouch!
He's incapacitated.
Yes, rather than dead, incapacitated. Gotcha. Okay.
The girl stopped her from every time she tries.
Hey, not there! At least stab him here, it's not quite so bad. Dr. Sock can bring him back that way. Okay, so the randomized pulsing of power starts to become more regular and the whole thing settles into a hum. And the system seems to be malfunctioning not as much now, but there's definitely something that's still not right. As much as you do successfully complete the repairs needed for this, it seems that this has been going on for far too long to stop. So, the geological and electromagnetic disturbances around the planet have been greatly reduced. Unfortunately, according to the data that's now coming through the machine's monitoring systems, the stability of the planet has not been fixed. It's been going on for far too long. But rather than 2 weeks, you now have 6 months. But at that point, the systems will inevitably fail and the planet will break apart. So, what you have done is you've given an evacuation a lot more time to succeed. So, evacuating a couple of million people off of a planet in 2 weeks would have been one hell of an undertaking, even with the entirety of the Starfleet. But now that you've got 6 months to do it, it is now entirely a possibility. So, I am going to take us back to Deck 1, as you've deactivated the self-destruct on the Tesla because that's no longer needed. You've found the reason for the disturbances on the planet, which means that it's not such an urgent thing, but it still needs organizing. So, do you guys think that it's worthwhile the Lormians moving to Orgoon 2 still? Or can you think of a better idea?
No.
I can't think.
We don't
of
want a
better
Wrath of
idea,
Khan
though.
situation on our hands, do we?
Can we ask Starfleet to see if there are any other M-class planets nearby which we can put them on?
Well, that's a
No,
potential as well.
which are,
Yeah, sure.
which are uninhabited.
No, Trasa's pets are harassing Dufresne is what's happening there.
I thought as much. No, I've just put Dufresne down there so I can remember that she was one of the activated supporting cast. So it's actually just a memory aid for me. Is Dufresne kidnapping Trasa's pets? No, I'm sure she's just playing with them. But yeah, sure, this now gives you more time to play with, and so there's the bigger possibility that a more viable evacuation solution could be put up. There's lots of planets in the Federation, so whether or not there is one or two that could be these people could be evacuated to, it's pretty high probability. But
also,
yeah. Also, go on.
I was going to say also making sure that there is an actual evacuation plan in place.
Yes.
As well for them. At least probably I don't know, a good month before that. Also making sure that there's also a security detail from the Federation at the ancient plate at that site to make sure that these backstabbing Klingons don't get their hands on it.
Okay.
What?
So leave security behind on the ancient alien technologies to make sure that the Klingons don't come back and try and take it.
Yes.
Whilst also getting some scientists to try and do more research. Whilst
Yes.
that's capacity's there.
Yeah, that sounds...
multiple jobs happening at once.
Yeah. But you can at least start recommending to Starfleet that it put that kind of thing in motion and not you guys have to shoulder the entire burden yourselves, which is what's important here. Okay, cool. That all works for me. So yes, the scientists on the Tesla that you came to rescue are going to elect to stay behind so that they are a kind of ambassadors for the Federation, but also to allow quicker communication to any Federation folks who come to get the gist of what the situation is on Orgoon 3.
Flesh wants to,
go on.
In that time, because it was a strange disturbance that caused the Tesla to crash.
Yes.
Flesh wants
no
to see
sign
if
of
that was... Yeah. Was that possibly caused by this ancient device? Because it was convenient that they were close to said planet to crash land.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hasn't this happened before?
Well.
I'm sure it's happened in a past episode that we've seen ships which get too close fall and get disabled by
Yes,
this
indeed.
stuff.
You're not wrong. Plus, you've learned another interesting factoid, which, again, isn't necessarily a new thing. The instrumentation on the planet seemed to suggest that Orgoon 3 didn't start off as Orgoon 3. It started off somewhere else entirely different.
And we try and get the Federation to find out where that is.
Well, yeah. And that's what your good friend Dr. Helena Taliaferro is all about. So she's probably going to be very interested in finding out what you've discovered here on Orgoon 3.
Also, can we also let the Admiral know that the captain of I can't remember the name of the
Captain
ship
Darkran,
now.
the Klingon ship?
Yeah, Captain Darkran did.
Sure. Well, I can actually preface that with everybody returning back to the ship, except for Tavish, of course, who is escorted down to the sick bay by Dr. Sott because, well, her neural implant nearly overloaded and fried her brain. Nylil is currently unresponsive due to, overload.
Yeah.
And will need repairs. Meanwhile, when the rest come back onto the bridge, what they will get is Captain Sobek saying, whilst you were gone, all of a sudden we had evidence of transporter activity from the surface, and then the Klingon ship Kavrak cloaked and disappeared. We don't know what happened.
As Trasa's probably continued to hold the Klingon restrained.
Yes, well, he's probably since been transferred to the brig, but you could have grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and drawn him to the bridge as well, but not gotten much out of it.
Full report.
As Tavish is not there, she can't say what she wants to say.
Oh yeah, Trasa probably also we might need to send a medical hologram to heal him as they throw him into the brig.
But overall, you have managed to at least give that planet's inhabitants more time, and the Klingons, whatever they were up to, they have now hightailed it for the horizon. So you've left plenty of ideas as to what goes on after the fact, and like I said, the Combs will not likely be stationed there for the entire time, but can be involved in the at least initial stages of the planning of the evacuation of Orgoon 3. And I want to fast forward in time a little bit here to end our episode. As we go to a meeting of the same people that Tavish met with in the cargo bay before. So we're talking Lieutenant Osborne, Ensign Carly Kenson, and a couple of other folks. And Tavish is still smarting a little bit from having a headache that's just not going away, but a meeting has been called of the anti-Klingon conspirators, and Tavish sits down on a cargo pod just to sit down for a minute. At which point, Osborne gets involved and says, "Thank you very much there for helping secure that line to the Klingon ship, because we found it something rather interesting." And Tavish will be able to back this up later on when she takes a look at the logs that she held as to what was who was interrogating the computer systems of the Klingon ship. "According to this little datapad I have here," says Osborne, "the Klingons, during the time you were down on the planet trying to find out what was actually going on, the Klingons were surreptitiously making little queries into the Klingon historical database. And they were doing it for quite some time. And just after the transporter activity with your friend Darkran beaming himself out, and the whole ship going under cloak, we managed to get one last piece of information." Osborne hands Tavish the datapad, and it's essentially a spread of names all done up in a tree. This is a genealogy tree. At first I was a little confused as to what possible reason they could have for looking up somebody's family, until I had a very close look at the names. Osborne points to one branch of the genealogical tree that he's got. Sure enough, House Krell turns up in there a lot. And then Osborne goes, "Here's the interesting bit," and traces his finger further and further up the family tree, at which point he stops and says, "Look right there." Tavish takes a look, spots the names, spots the other name that has now just joined the family tree at a higher point, and gives Osborne a bit of a surprised look. Osborne nods and says, "Haha, you see it too, eh?" So it seems that House Krell has actually not originally House Krell, and was part of none other than House Morkai. That's right, brothers and sisters. It seems that our much-vaunted House Krell started off as just another branch of the Klingon spy agency. That's where I'm going to leave it. So, that's the end of this episode, I am afraid. That is the end of episode 33, which was titled Decision Point. For those who wanted the star date, it was essentially this, which I shall put in the pantry now. For those of you who believe that your values or your scars dictated some of your actions or reactions to things, that's the star date you can use for your ship's logs. So the supporting cast we used were Zhang, Dufresne, and Garrow, but Garrow cannot be improved any more than he already is, so he goes off over there. Intrigue and all that sort of stuff. Will there also be lasting damage to Nihil? Well, we'll have to find out, but Tavish at least caused a much-needed diversion from utilizing by putting herself in danger once again, but the consequences of that, we'll have to wait and see.
Yay.
Until then, we will have our usual inter-episode break, so is everybody available for 2 weeks' time? Which will be the 28th of September.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like 90% sure I am.
But not fully, okay.
But not fully, but I will let you know.
Thank you. Merc, you sounded a bit unsure.
Genuinely don't know. I think I'm fine.
Okay. Les, are you good for 2 weeks' time? Excellent. So, revelations abound, but we'll have to wait until next time. So until then, I want to thank my players for being awesome, as per usual. I want to thank everybody who popped in to say hi on the chat, ever so briefly, and who actually took the time to watch us. Cheers much. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we seem to enjoy playing it. But in the meantime, I am going to say, as well as thank you for watching, I want everyone to do like the Vulcans do, which is live long and prosper. And, take careful consideration as to what your actions entail when it means to interactions with others. Because you never know. But also, be sarky to bad guys when you can get away with it. But, more importantly, engage in infinite diversity in infinite combinations, especially in this world we're living in now that seems to be on a collision course with going backwards rather than forwards. But, hey, maybe we'll just have to get through all of this silliness together and we'll come out the other side better for it. And let's hope that's the case. But treat each other with love, kindness, and respect, because that's the way of the future and the way that our people, our species, will succeed with everything else that comes after. But until next time, thank you very much, folks, for watching. Hailing frequencies will now close. Bye-bye, folks.